Hey everyone, it's me, Donna. Today, I want to talk about something that some may view as kind of science fiction, but I do believe that it can be a definite reality. It might take 20, 30 years from the time that we get there to what we would call a completion, to where probably there's industry and all that uh, on this planet. Um, and the planet I'm talking about is Mars. Okay, for starters. Now, this is my belief. Everybody's got their own belief about it and everything. But I believe that at one time, thousands, maybe millions of years ago, Lord only knows, okay? I believe that there was life on Mars as well as other planets. I still believe that there's life going on other planets and all that stuff. But I feel like there was definite life on Mars, and something catastrophic happened that caused probably a lot of deaths, destroyed, most of the planet, all that type of thing. I feel like maybe some of the people escaped, and I feel like maybe some of them came to this planet. We would explain, let's just say, in my opinion, I feel like the Earth, that different beings were put on Earth, what we'd call different ethnicities or whatever, were put on this Earth, and, at one point, and, we all ended up coexisting with each other. I don't know the who's, the whens, the wheres, the whys, the whats, none of that. It's just what I've come to conclude in my mind. I believe in God and all that, but I also believe in other ideas and theories, because I just believe there's so much more to everything than what, people think. I think it's very complex, and it's just almost beyond our understanding. But anyway, let's go back to Mars. All right, I feel like maybe there was some kind of galactic war. Maybe Mars itself. There could have been a nuclear war. Who knows? Who knows what in the world happened to this planet? But something definitely big happened. And maybe some people got a heads up and were able to escape, or maybe they allowed some beings to escape, and then they destroyed the planet or whatever. Maybe it was like a punishment. Maybe there was some kind of intergalactical treaty that was violated, or some, who knows? It's just just one of those mysteries we will probably never know. I don't know. But regardless, all right, I still believe that we humans can go to Mars and transform it and turn it into an Earth-like planet. From what I've been reading and what I understand, there's so much that science knows now, and there's even big talk about creating an artificial magnetic field to boost the planet, to like kick it off, because as of right now, Mars doesn't really have a strong magnetic field or whatever. Therefore, it's not protected from the sun's rays and the solar winds and all that, and everything just gets blowed pretty much off of Mars, the atmosphere, all that stuff. Okay. And of course, it's I guess what they say, less dense. The gravity is less on the planet. 100-pound person would probably feel like they're like 30 or 40 pounds on Mars. That's the way that things are right now. And of course, I'm speaking from, a person that knows nothing about science, or at least not that much about science. Uh, I don't know, I'm no rocket scientist. I'm no, highly educated person when it comes to this. Therefore, I can only just speak from my own observation and what limited knowledge that I have of science or whatever. But anyway, um, from what I've read and what I've conjured up in my brain, I believe that we can go to this planet, create a magnetic field once they get a device out there to, jumpstart Mars. And from what they say, they can actually, because at first they were thinking about just sending microbes and letting, making all kinds of visits to Mars to slowly create an atmosphere that way. And supposedly it would take up to 100 years or whatever. Well, now they've come up with a theory to where they can artificially create a magnetic field, take a device up there, create a magnetic field, okay? This will jumpstart the planet, okay? And supposedly once that happens, then it will create pressure and all kinds of heat build up within the core of the planet, and it will release carbon dioxide and other things that are needed for an atmosphere. It will cause it to expel that and melt a lot of the ice and all that stuff and transform the planet. Like, they're talking like within maybe 5 years or so from that point. Okay, which is awesome. Like, that's like mind-blowing to think that that could happen just by creating a magnetic field, okay? But what humans can do to quicken everything up and get things going is, first of all, because this planet, Earth, we're having issues with really too much water. Yeah, you heard me. With supposedly with global warming, whatever, which I think there's another theory to that. I don't buy into the industrial age causing that. I believe it's just a cycle that the earth goes through, blah, blah, blah. But regardless, we're having issues with a lot of our ice melting, and it's causing, torrential rains and huge amounts of flooding and, water going where it really shouldn't be. Well, what if we could take batches of that ice and take it to Mars and give it water? Because I feel like, honestly, the extra water that we have may have, in fact, came from Mars. I feel like, when all the destruction happened to Mars, I feel like maybe, because, it lost a lot of its water. I feel like Mars had a lot of water, had plenty of water, but it got stripped away. Well, think about it. Where else is that water going to go? It's going to go way spread on out into the galaxy. And if Earth crosses the path of the water in its gas form, then it's going to hit our atmosphere and turn into rain, and we're going to get the water. Therefore, I feel like, that gave us an excessive amount of water. I mean, that's just my theory, So why not, regardless, even if that's not the case, but regardless, since we have so much of this water, why don't we take some of that water and take it to Mars and use it there, okay? All right. Then, of course, they can do, to help the atmosphere, they can do chemtrailing, just like they do here. Whether people want to believe it or not, we're being chemtrailed. I mean, look up in the sky. Usually 2 or 3 days before it rains, and even up to right on, the day of rain or whatever, you see them up there chemtrailing. Those are not passenger airplanes taking people from one place to another. No, they're chemtrailing. You see those chemtrails, you see those airplanes dancing back and forth across the sky, making all kinds of crisscrosses. Passenger planes don't do that. Let's be real, okay? We know what they're doing. Anybody with a brain that can use logic knows that's what's going on. Whether they admit it or not, that's what they're doing. Why not use that for Mars? Take airplanes up there in your cargo rocket ship. Take all that up there, which of course, it'd be good to have like a base, a space station or a base or whatever, up above Mars or whatever. Then take supplies and things down to Mars, and such as airplanes, drones, whatever. And the thing that would be working in your favor to start with is the fact that Mars has less of an atmosphere than Earth, and therefore, it would be easier to fly airplanes and all that around the planet. You would probably use less less fuel, not less gas, but less fuel. So, in my opinion, that would kind of cut costs as far as that goes. But anyway, okay. So all that could be done, as well as go ahead and use the microbe organisms, plants, trees, all that bunch of stuff. Go ahead and terraform Mars the way that we want it. And then once things get going and gets, kicked in, then go ahead and build on the planet. Create homes and businesses and all that. And then anybody that wants to come to Mars and lives, bada bing, bada boom, they can, And then as technology grows and people learn more about space travel or whatever, and we get faster at everything and we learn a lot, things will be so much easier and so much better. But for the time being, I truly believe this could happen. This could be our not too distant future. Whether people want to believe it or not, I do believe it is possible. I'm a firm believer in that. And I think that, people are going to see that. So, but anyway, that's just my opinion. But I wanted to share that with folks. Talk to you later. Bye.